Oh shit, there's a legit, I just found a cactus patch over here. There's actually cactus on the ground.
It's cacti, you fucking rookie.
On this episode of Can You Run Around Like a Douchebag? Beautiful.
If I get these ding-dang glasses on.
The only thing we changed is the pen.
There's some debris in your magazine.
Oh yeah, run, assholes. Get the hell out of here. Hopefully this is all on camera still, right?
It is.
Now we torture test. Get the hell out of here! I said get! Hey everybody, welcome to a Buddy Tec special. This is Buddy Talk, the first of hopefully many specials where we're gonna slow it down a little bit, talk about some things in the industry, some things that are just kind of behind the scenes or maybe just our preferences in firearms that maybe we don't have time to delve into when we're reviewing a product. So joining me today is JB, who's kind of our tinkerer special. He's very technical. Whenever we need to fix something on a gun that is below like gunsmith level, he's our guy. He's also a co-contributor, does some writing on segments, some filming and some editing. He's also the guy that put out the Rave 140 Heavy Spring review, and then also, more importantly in the industry, the P320 video and how that impacts the industry. So, hello JB, thanks for joining us.
Hello everyone.
We also have Davies, who's our left-handed shooter, resident lefty, and also by far our most skilled shooter. I'll fight you on that one. David is a very good shooter. I'm convinced that if you wanted to go competition, that you could do some really good stuff. So
I'm Mr. Backwards.
he's also a farm dweller, and so he actually uses his firearms on occasion to shoot like rabid animals that might mess with his horses and stuff. So you're using them more than most people do.
Best animals, insurgents.
Yeah. Insurgents. Right. Insurgents, what in the world? And I'm me. Do it! We were doing some different things. So anyways, to kick us off, first I want to talk about our partners. So thank you to Blackout Coffee and their partnership with us. They make coffees, teas, and cocos in small batches out of Florida. It's very delicious coffee. I'm just going to say that. I really like it. This is their pitch black. I really like espresso roast. That's pretty much exclusively what I drink. And this stuff is really good. Comparably to, some of the nicer blends that you would get from, I don't want to say names because I don't want to crap on anybody, but this is really good coffee comparably. What are the ones that you tried?
Actually, the pitch black is my favorite as well.
You tried the medium roast too. Did you like that one as much?
I tried the medium. It was good. I mean, it's a good medium roast.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like you. I like it to, wake me up.
Yeah, I want it to hit. Yeah. And then what's the one that you have?
I mean, I really like it to hit, so I went with the Brutal Awakening, which is their dark awakening.
Stab it in the back. Okay. Use their link below though, and you'll get a discount on your order, 10% off. They also run specials, like they had a really nice Black Friday special, a Veterans Day special, so it's always just good to stay tuned on it. But if you do use that link or use the code Buddy Tec, you'll get 10% off your order, and it also helps us out. And we want to produce more videos, so it's a great way if you like our content and you want us to produce more frequent content, that's a way that you can help us out. Also, Axil hearing protection with the GS Extreme Pros, which are in earbuds. They have great battery life, really good hearing protection at 29 decibels, which is higher than usual. And then Bluetooth connectivity, which I don't personally use as much, but if you wanted like a one all-inclusive set of buds that could do everything, that's a great way to do it. And the 12 hours of battery life helps. And we've tried a lot of hearing protection, and there's some not so good ones out there. I believe you're using their over-ear ones, right?
Yep, and one thing I did appreciate with those in comparison to some others, like the Walkers, which I also like those, but the Axils with the over-ear, they don't seem to have a squeezing effect. When we shoot on really hot days, I just didn't feel like I was getting smushed and clammy as quickly.
Yes. I also noticed that the ear cups are easier to remove, so if you do decide that you want to get some of the aftermarket gel ones, which can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to do. I think they require like a screwdriver and just like prying in there and hoping that it comes off. So I do appreciate that. So use their link below. The more pairs that you buy in one order, the bigger the discount you get. So, you know, if you're looking as a shooting group to get some new hearing protection and you want to take hearing protection and conserving your hearing seriously, that's a great option. Make sure to check them out. And then last but not least, we've got Queen's Tree Surgery. There's some great folks. They do land clearing. The spot that we shoot is actually part of their land, and they are extremely generous and gracious to let us shoot there. They're pro Second Amendment. They work very hard. And you can see their work in our video because we have a seemingly very wooded area that has some great cleared spots for shooting and hunting, but they do much bigger scaled projects like that. They even helped out when the airport was snowed over in Nashville. Last year we had a big snowstorm and shut down a lot. They went in there and helped clear, which really got things moving again, which is awesome. So make sure to check them out. I got their phone number down below. The point of contact is going to be Danny, and yeah, they're great people. So let's get to it. The first thing I want to do that's going to kind of talk to our preferences a little more outside of just like the reviews, because typically when we talk about a firearm, we're just talking exclusively about that firearm. But I want to do a game called but it's 500, 1000 unlimited. So basically, what would be your pick right now? It could be different tomorrow, but what would you buy for $500? What would you buy for $1,000 roughly? And what would you do with an unlimited budget? Why don't you start,
Sure, I'll start. So my 500, the goal on that would be to add a little bit of diversity to my collection. When I turned, I think 18, I bought my first firearm. You're allowed to buy a shotgun in Tennessee. I bought a Mossberg.
Double-barreled shotgun?
Not a double-barreled shotgun.
So you can just blast over the just warning shots?
I'm not firing warning shots with it. No, that's not what it's for.
Sure.
That's not what it's for. So I had a Mossberg Cruiser 500.
Nice.
I bought it, I was 18, so that was almost 20 years ago.
Is that a pistol grip?
It is a pistol grip. And it's just, I shouldn't have sold it. I sold it a few years after I got it. I shouldn't have. It's just a good gun, a lot of fun, 4 shotgun. And I haven't had a shotgun since then, so
yeah,
just put that back in my collection. The 1,000 mark is a little bit trickier for me.
That's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, I think that I had a little bit of difficulty trying to think through this one, but based on our experiences with the Comrade Panther, the AR-47 build that we did,
like alternate caliber
together. Yeah, we did a lot on that build, right? Like we had to do gas blocks, buffer tube.
Lots of fine tuning.
I'm sorry. Lots of fine tuning, right? A lot of disassembly, reassembly. So I think I'd like to go with a pre-built version of that with the Palmetto State KS-47.
Yeah.
That's under 1,000. That's a good easy bid. For big money, we're going with a Chapo piece.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. Beretta makes a handgun called the 92 FS Fusion. Okay, it's more of like a special edition. It
kind of sounds like a V8 drink.
Yeah, just we'll pop a picture of it up here, but it's a complete Chapo gun. It's around between $8,500 and $15,000.
Holy cow!
Depending on what version you get.
Took that unlimited budget thing and ran with it, huh?
There is no practical reason to ever have a handgun that costs $8,500 or $15,000. But it's the one.
I wonder if their primary market is like cartel leaders and stuff.
It absolutely is. There's no question about
you end
that.
up on an FBI list immediately if you buy one. It's probably delivered by the FBI.
You sign up for the Patriot Act when you purchase.
Yeah, exactly.
when you purchase that gun.
Your picture goes on a wall with red string connecting it to other people immediately.
Other people who bought that gun.
Other people who bought.
But I want to be on that wall. So, not for any other purpose, just for buying.
Like this is the most boring guy on the wall, but he's on there.
He's on there. So. He hasn't done anything wrong, but he's on the wall because he's got a 92 FS Fusion.
Jeez.
My turn? Starting the 500 bracket, which I think this is pretty close to 500, it's right there and about. I would like an Fn502 Tactical, which is basically their new 22 caliber rimfire pistol. It's modeled after the 509. It just has a cool tactical look, comes with a threaded barrel. It would make a great little host for a 22 suppressor can.
And you already have a TX-22.
I do have a TX-22, which that's actually a really good gun. I'm not a huge
runs really well,
fan, but that one,
they're doing better.
It's a little tack driver.
They're making some good stuff.
Yeah, so Fn502 Tactical, I just think they're attractive. They've already got a lot of good feedback on them. 10 or 15 round mags, depending on what your setup is. So, yep. So that'd be my entry level pick. Going to the 1000 bracket, 100% I know what I want. just for the more visceral, fun manual shooting experience, I want a Henry Model X, which is, it's one of their lines of lever action, all blacked out lever action rifle. They have a zillion calibers. I would probably choose to go with the 44 Magnum /38 if I were to choose one. There's a lot of cool aftermarket stuff. They even
It comes with a pick rail, right?
It does. There's even now there's M-LOK handguards you can add to them, and all kinds of different quivers for So anyway, Henry Model X, super cool, right around $1,000. So that'd be my middle pick.
That's kind of a legacy gun too. That's like a gun you want to pass down to your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to let anyone else have it. No. So anyway, tier 3, the unlimited budget. I'm in conflict. There's 2 different ones that I really want. First would be pistol entry. I really want a Staccato C2.
Oh yeah.
They're made in Texas. They used to be called STIs, but the Staccato, it's not necessarily at like your Atlas, Gunworks, or your Triarch price points, but they're still pretty expensive. $2,000, $2,500 range. I just think they're attractive. A lot of good feedback on those. Everyone says they shoot great. I like the idea of a 2011. So my pick for the unlimited would either be that or the POF Revolution.
I'm not surprised by you.
Yeah, I mean, I already POF makes some killer guns. I've already got the Renegade Plus, which is their 5.56 AR, ambi controls for crippled left-handed people. But the AR-15 platform chambered in 308 is their entry. It's the Revolution. So I just think they're cool, they're attractive. It's an AR-15 with a more potent round. So it just seems like something Gucci to.
Alabama Arsenal had a really good video on that versus the Scar.
They compared it with a Scar, and they really liked the Revolution a lot. So, yep, I think that's my unlimited money entry. So
yeah, I'm kind of surprised how low on the radar POF is for how good of stuff they make. I mean, they make some like your.
Yeah, they're trying to compete with like the BCMs and Vandal Defense and Night Armament and LWRCs. So yeah, I would say they're another premium AR.
And what's the one you have? Is the Renegade?
I have a Renegade Plus.
Yeah, and that thing is so smooth. I mean, like the trigger on it is unbelievable. Probably the easiest like double tap gun.
Hopefully we can get a video on it someday to showcase some of that.
Because they're awesome. So yeah, good choices.
What about you? Let's go.
Well, I don't want to say too in the comments there, way in between. I mean, what would you do, a POF Revolution or the, what was the other one?
Oh, Staccato C2.
Staccato C2.
Those two pretty stark
two different
differences,
guns, but one's a man killer and one's a race gun.
Or the Chapo gun.
Or the Chapo gun. So I'm going to say for my 500, and it's a gun that's been on my radar for a long time, is the IWI Jericho, the 941. I really like IWI stuff. I think they just have some iconic guns. I mean, it's hard to beat like the Uzi and the Galil Ace. But the Jericho, which I believe is based on the CZ75 recoil system, just a sweet looking gun. Very soft shooting from what I've seen. I would get the all steel variant. I do like the enhanced, which is the polymer frame with some creature comfort, some modern updates and stuff, but it just looks so cool. It doesn't hurt, or the fact that I watched the live action Cowboy Bebop recently, and that's what the protagonist, the main character, uses. And it's just an iconic gun. In the mix, especially when you're talking like polymer framed, striker fired guns, there's so many of these coming to market, so that 500 or less segment is so well populated now. I mean, you've got more choices than you ever have, and there's a lot of great choices, like guns coming out of Turkey and Slovenia and wherever, America. So that would be my 500 choice. My 1,000, I'm gonna say, there's a gun that I've been eyeing now. The Foxtrot Mike FM15 intrigues me a lot for that price point. And I think it started when the BRN 180 came out. I was like, man, that's a sweet gun. But the price tag on it it's pretty hefty. It's not a cheap gun. I think the upper by itself is like in the upper like 800 bucks, something like that. Does that sound about right?
Close.
Correct me, I'm sure I'm wrong, but we'll put it on the screen. So that contained recoil system that's in the upper without a buffer tube, I really like that because you can fold the stock and the firearm will still fire. And then the FM15 has a side charging handle, but it's up on the left-hand side on the handrail. So really quick. It's very MP5-like. I feel like, man, if you can H&K slap that would be sweet. How can she slap? Familiar with that? How could she slap? No.
Nope.
Put it on the screen.
Nothing.
So that'd be my $1,000. because I feel like that would just be a really well-rounded, compact, and unique gun. I'd say unlimited. I was originally going to say like the Galil Ace, and this is going to show, but this is going to show how much of a IWI whore I am. I think I would actually want to go with, the more we talk about shotguns, I really want that Tavor 12, which is their rotating tube. So it's got like 5, depends on the length of the shells, but I think you could do 5 rounds per tube, and you can just switch between 3 tubes, and then it just looks awesome. It's such a cool looking shotgun. It looks like a space gun. But I think IWI makes some great stuff, and I would love to get my hands on one of those. I'm not really sure how heavy they are. They look like they would be really heavy.
I'm not really sure how much they cost either.
But I think they're right around.
But that doesn't matter.
I think they're like $1,200 or $1,300. So I mean, it's really not much out of budget from the $1,000. But you know, I rarely see them below that.
We're going strictly off the cuff, shooting from the hip.
That or an Abrams tank. So, but yeah.
That'd be a close second.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear what you guys think too, or just how wrong we are. I'm sure a lot of people will just be like, "You're dumb," but
I mean, it's subjective. We're just doing impulse purchase opinions.
Yeah, and this might change. I mean, next week you might, something might come out that dethrones one of your top choices, or you'll watch Heat again, and you'll be like, "Ah, man, I gotta have an MP5, or I gotta have a, whatever." But I think it's just fun to see how your choices change over time. And we're gonna try to, some of the rules that we're gonna try to establish is try to stick to prefab guns. We know that, for $1,000 you could watch, gun.deals and pick up all your parts for 26 cents, and build something that's insane for 400 bucks. But try to challenge yourself and do something that's ready-made, because that'll make it a little more interesting. It'll kind of confine your search. And then, maybe later on, maybe in another episode, we'll do like, hey, build it yourself for your budget.
While we're doing that, let me get some recommendations too. Talking about E-forms here in just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But some recommendations for a multi-cal suppressor in the $1,000 range. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because we've been doing some shopping. And we kind of want to spotlight one. Yeah. What's the one you're looking at the most right now, the Nomad?
I'm a little torn, I'm between the Sandman S, Nomad 30, and there's a third one that the name has just completely disappeared from my mind right now.
Yeah. Well, and maybe we should just jump right to that.
Something 36.
Something 36. I'm sure you guys know what he means. Speaking of suppressors, and I think you know the most about this, the Form 4 changes, which is, wow, the ATF is doing something that might actually be good for gun owners if it works out the way it's supposed to. Then again, we're not in favor of those being controlled devices in the first place. Yeah. It's lame, but whatever. This is the world we work in. We're going to try to look at it in a positive outlook, but I think you know the most about that.
Yeah, so I guess just on that, I mean, you basically nailed it, right? ATF decided that it would move into the digital age with Form 4s. They've had Form 1s for a while. They've been talking about Form 4s for probably since dinosaurs were here.
Yeah.
But E-forms, that's one of the main reasons I'm looking to jump right now, because it gives me a shorter time frame before we can get what we want, get it in hand, get it reviewed, and get it out there. So it's gonna be a personal purchase for me, but in short, the ATF is claiming that Form 4s will be live the 21st of December, and they're claiming that they'll be trying to stick to like a 90-day time frame in the first short bit, 60 days after that. They're claiming that they'll be on a 30-day turnaround.
That'd be crazy.
For Form 4s, which would be your suppressors, pre-built SBRs, pre-built short barrel shotguns.
That's better than
so on and so forth. That's better than the
13 months that you waited for your last one.
Millimeter can took 13 months.
So 30 days would be tremendous. The only thing I think would be more tremendous than 30 days would be not having it at all. That'd be great if we could do that.
Right. Yeah, we could totally get into why
that's coming down the pipe soon enough. Not not like tomorrow, but soon enough.
Yeah. So let's hope that works out, and we'd like to test that process and kind of give our own thoughts on it. Yeah. So,
but I had a pretty good experience with a Form 1 that was an E-form.
Yeah.
This is an SBR registered.
Yeah.
And it was a 9-day turnaround in
That's
Tennessee.
Pretty good.
So
and you did your research on it too.
Yeah, he did his Scorpion with a buckled up fingerprint card and everything, and it was
that's right. You had to change some information.
His was like an 8-day turnaround. It was faster than mine.
Yeah,
that's quick.
Even with this messed up card. So.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think in the future we have planned some videos for the M400 SIG. which is just a sweet gun. And that was in our video for a couple different things. For the dynamic target solutions, the very first video we reviewed was about the SOT handguard that's on it. Then we have the Scorpion Micro
S2,
yeah, and then to kind of get the yin to the yang of that, we're going to do the X-Star EP9, which is a much cheaper but still very good pistol caliber carbine, which I'm sure you've seen some videos on. I bought one right after I watched one of Honest Outlaw's first videos of it. I was like, man, I gotta get one of those. Not the easiest gun to purchase, by the way. It was like you had to wait until it was like Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and then they would open up orders, and then it would just disappear overnight. You know,
that's actually how the AKP was as well. The Palmetto website would post some inventory, and everyone snaps them up really fast. I think it's still that way.
Yeah. Well, what was your, let us know what was the hardest gun for you to purchase that wasn't necessarily because of restrictions, but just because whether it was in high demand or just how the manufacturer or the retailer was selling it. I would say the X-Star was the hardest one for me so far.
That was a wild ride.
Yeah.
That was a wild ride.
Dude, I tried to get one for like a month and a half.
I tried to purchase 365 XL right when COVID got hot.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with panic buying. I just wanted that gun.
Right.
And so I got it. But I mean,
so did literally everyone else.
So did literally everyone else. It took me a month to find it at not $800 in stock. So
talk about it. Those are the longest waits if you're waiting for a suppressor, or if you're trying to. You're like, yes, I'm going to buy this, and then it just doesn't work out the way you want for things that are outside of your control. So, to kind of close this out here, and it's kind of like a recap for the year, I think it'd be fun to talk about like what our favorite video that we've done so far, and then if that corresponds with your favorite gun that we've shot or reviewed. And you can also include in there if maybe your opinions have changed about it. Like, as an example, like the AREX was a great gun, but like the more it's broken in, it's just become a better gun. So my opinion of it has improved since then. So why don't you start us off, JB, with your favorite one?
Sure, I'll start. So favorite video, I think both to produce and to film and to take part in was the AKP.
It's hard to hate that one.
That stupid Caribbean song is forever burned in our brains right now. I'm almost
we used
positive,
it recently at the end of the Gen 2 video.
That's right, after the, yes.
I'm almost certain that we all go to sleep with that song in our head at night. Probably forever.
Yeah, maybe I needed therapy to get it out of my head.
But that video was a lot of fun. We did a lot of cool things with that. We pushed ourselves cinematically.
Yeah.
That's kind of our thing, is to find a way to be better, not trying to outdo anyone, just trying to outdo ourselves.
Yeah.
So that was fun cinematically. It was a good video.
It was a very fun video.
The gun that I think was the most surprising, which became my favorite because it was the most surprising, was the AREX.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I didn't like the trigger. I thought the mag, release was dumb. I thought it looked cool. I thought it was too thin. I just thought a lot about it. But then I picked it up and nailed a steel from give or take 60 yards with relatively low effort.
Yeah.
And I did that multiple times without the red dot on it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of backtracked on that and said, well, you know what? Maybe this is
it's not so bad.
Pretty good gun. I'm not struggling with pull because of the trigger or anything. I had a lot of good success with it, and it kind of took me a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely a sweet gun. I agree. What about you?
Favorite video that we've done so far, they've all been fun. Probably my favorite one, it might even be the first one we did, the original Bear Creek Arsenal. And when we first did it, we were at a different property.
Muddy property.
Muddy property. It was freezing cold. There were cows mooing, so I think we started calling them the Tactical Moo. It was just like a noisy country setting. And we had some bloopers. It was kind of like our first time getting our feet wet with trying to shoot some good videos. That might have been one of the original debris in your magazine.
That was off the cuff too. I was like,
that one part of it though, where you're click.
Oh, geez.
What?
That's been.
You opened it, and he was like, oh, that's bad.
That was good.
Yeah. But favorite gun to shoot that we've done so far. For me, that's pretty easy. I mean, AK. You're shooting an AK pistol, and it's AK-ish and loud and short, and definitely not shouldering it.
Yeah, so you're not shouldering it.
Right. Just
And anytime that we did shoulder it, we didn't actually pull the trigger. The gun just fired on its own.
Yeah.
So it was just literally like, oh, I'm gonna rest, and then the gun.
I definitely didn't pull the trigger, and the gun went off. Definitely. But anyway, it's fun to shoot. It was very forgiving to shoot. You could actually be pretty efficient running drills and
surprisingly soft shooting too.
It's soft, you know.
Soft and loud.
But like the overall spectacle of it was just such a
spectacle is a great
It's just a lot of
word.
fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to do.
Yeah,
So
it was fun to photograph and film too, because
Yeah.
everything was just fire and.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's some gag reel in our B-roll stuff somewhere where when you're in your Caribbean garb and your cigar's hanging out and you're and then slowed down and suddenly a green screen came down and we're both behind and just laughing our heads off.
It was windy that day because we
were behind you holding the green screen
blowing
up.
over.
Yes.
That was funny. And it was just,
I was holding it and he had the mic over.
that's right, the sound. Yeah.
The
That
mic
was
was kind of peeking out. Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, what about you? A specifically memorable moment?
I'm going to sound boring and say that I do think that the AKP was the best video as far as like flow, and just I loved how the historical aspect worked out, and just, you know, talking about like George Orwell and Animal Farm, and then just like the end of World War II, just everything that was going on, and then that firearm just being, you know, just an icon from that point on, and not looking to be irrelevant anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it was also just a really fun and challenging gun to shoot. I mean, obviously reloading an AK is different, and they weigh a little more.
And it proved that you had soft hands.
Yeah, my soy hand. Yeah, some of the comments we got just overall are hilarious, and some of it I think is just people just being like hilarious, you know, just having a good time. And
I love you all.
then some of them are just like so far off base, you know, like someone called me Alyssa, which I'm pretty sure they meant like Alyssa Milano, and I was like, okay, so.
You may have been referred to as a Guido at one point.
Guido, yeah, I'm Irish. I mean, I'll take that as a compliment, actually, you know, so, but it was like, you know, we're very pro-gun, and we want people to have the right to protect themselves and celebrate their Second Amendment rights, so the Alyssa one was pretty funny, you know. I can only hope that they were joking.
It was quality.
I think they said something, too, that like their girlfriend had a deeper voice than I did.
They did, you're right.
I don't have a very deep voice, but I think your girlfriend might be a dude. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you might want to check the Adam's apple area and maybe something else. So derail. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's everything that we wanted to cover. I do want to end on a good note. So I do think that celebrating the fact that, you know, yeah, with the ammo ban, and we don't really know what's going to happen with 7.62 by 39. I can't emphasize enough how cool it is that Palmetto State Armory is going to domestically produce. At least that's their plan so far. So, you know, I think it's always good to support companies that want to do stuff like that, because it can't be cheap to tool up to produce ammo if you aren't producing previously.
Yeah, at all.
And then as we saw, like how long it took the market to adapt when the demand went high, when there were some things going on in the world, in the United States, that made people want to go out and buy guns and ammo very fast, you know, almost like hoarder level. And you had a lot of new gun owners that were trying to get equipped. So like, you know, I remember when you couldn't even buy personal defense ammo unless you had bought a firearm. So I remember going and looking at I was at a store, I was like, they're completely out of personal defense.
Yep.
And then I purchased the Canic or the Yannick, and they were like, hey, do you want to purchase some personal defense? And they had it reserved for
Behind
people.
the counter, yeah.
Which I think is, I mean, that makes sense, you know, like if you want to buy a firearm, you know, and you can't purchase ammo for it, that would kind of stink. You know, what are you going to do? Throw it at them? I think that's from, is that from Snatch? It's like, what are you going to do? Feed it to them or something like that? Correct me if I'm wrong. So, but yeah, you know, it's very cool to see that happening, and I hope we see other people adapt to the market, because when those contracts run out, either by volume or time, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Decisions will have to be made.
Decisions will have to be made. There's going to be a lot of people switching to some different calibers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that concludes. If you enjoyed this segment, we'd love to hear what other topics you'd like to hear us talk about. Again, we'd like to hear your 500,000 and unlimited. What do you think about the new Form 4s? Is there anything that you're going to pick up? We'd also like to hear your suppressor. What's your go-to suppressor?
Multi-caliber.
Multi-caliber suppressor. You know, if you had to buy one can, what would it be? You know, would it be a can of worms? Can of cola, beans, and then yeah. Also, make sure to check out those affiliate links we talked about. Blackout Coffee. Hey, it's great to have coffee, especially domestically produced by some great Second Amendment friendly people. Don't underestimate how good it is to have great hearing protection, so check out Axil Hearing Protection. And again, if you need some land clearing, make sure to check out Queen's Tree Surgery. Thank you again to them for helping make these videos possible by letting us shoot on their property so generously. So make sure to stay safe out there. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.
And keep your booger hook off the bang stick unless you're about to shoot your target.
Yeah. There's stuff I want to say about that, but I'm just gonna hold off for now. Ready? Yeah. Yeah, it actually worked out pretty well.
First time, like you said it would.